Hugh, it's a pleasure to see you again, talk about this film. What can we tell our audiences without spoiling it for them about the elusive Waverley, especially those who are not familiar with the 60s TV series?
Yeah, well, he's their boss. I'm trying to remember.
He is their boss.
Yes.
We don't discover it straight away. In the
Yeah.
beginning, he's a mystery man, isn't he?
Correct, yeah. Yes, I play this character who's a sort of... We don't really know who he is for a bit. And it emerges that he's a very senior spy for MI5, for the British. And he becomes the boss of Ilya Kuryakin and Napoleon Sola in their new formation as the U.N.C.L.E. team.
The U.N.C.L.E. team. And to those who were familiar with the 60s TV series, how is it differing? How is it similar? How is it an inspiration?
Well, of course, I did watch the 60s series because I'm so old. And it's completely unlike that, apart from the central premise, which always was, a good one, which is that a Russian spy and an American spy have to team up to do work together. And they have a British spy boss. So that's the same. But the treatment couldn't really be more different because that was very old-fashioned television, and this is incredibly kind of snazzy and hip and cinema with a lot of pyrotechnics.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of the Guy Ritchie kind.
And a lot of humor of the Guy Ritchie kind, and obviously of the Hugh Grant kind. So how important is it for you to find the right tone in film, especially when it's action, that it has to be a little bit of both?
Yes, it's never easy, and when we had the read-through of this film, I sketched in a lot of new lines in the margin, and I read those lines instead of the ones that were written quite often. Sometimes. Some of them were brilliant lines that they'd written, but I tried a few experiments, and they seemed to like that. And so I did a bit of that when we filmed.
Revisiting the era is great in terms of costume. Do men get excited about this as much as girls do?
Well, I get excited about the girls' costumes. I've always liked to style women. And these costumes are truly extraordinary. Joanna Johnson is the costume designer, who I did About a Boy with, and have always adored. And if she doesn't win some prize for this, I will be astonished.
Especially for the heavy earrings. Apparently the girls were just under constant heavy.
Yeah, I remember that when I was a little boy, my sort of the cousins, my older girl cousins, all had these huge earrings. I associate them with my first crushes.
Did you enjoy the TV series when you watched it? What did you most like about it?
Oh, I don't really remember. It was that or Batman. And I had all the things that go with it. I had a little Man from Uncle Car. I still have it, actually. I found it the other day. My little boy, one of my little boys, was playing with it. And I wanted to, I should have sent a picture to Guy. It's delightful. You press the top, and the two spies come out of the side and fire their guns.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
You should bring it over to a premiere or something.
Yeah.
What is it about spy thrillers that make them such an enduring genre and, so much fun to the audiences all those years later?
Well, I don't know. Danger, I think, is always thrilling. I was thinking that the other day watching a Scorsese film, and you feel the same with Tarantino. The threat of some terrible piece of violence happening at any moment gives an incredible lift to any film and makes it, you just can't stop watching. And so I think that's always been the thing. And I think it's sad now that we don't really have a good, solid Iron Curtain with Eastern Europeans to fear. But it's coming back a little.
Yeah, we have other problems that we can exploit in cinema. Yeah. Or not, perhaps. It's not a very fun time. What is it about Guy Ritchie that makes him so unique as a filmmaker and as a vision as well?
Well, I think it's that he's very cinematic. You could argue that the British tradition of filmmaking has always been a bit closer to theatre or to television, whereas the European one has always been on a bigger scale, as more visual. And I think because he comes from a background originally in advertising, where visuals really mattered, he's always put the emphasis on that side of filmmaking and become a master of those arts. And it just gives things a lift. It makes them, as I say, cinematic rather than just like blown up television. And that's particularly rare in this day and age, when film and TV are kind of merging into one, as films get shown on smaller and smaller screens and TV gets shown on bigger and bigger screens. And his films are uniquely cinematic, I think.
Yeah, and they have their own stamp. He's got his own, Guy Ritchie imprint on them. Is it important, in your opinion, that directors have that kind of style, their own style?
Well, I think they do need to have their own style, but it needn't necessarily be the sort of Guy Ritchie one. I mean, it can be, some of the very, very placid and sort of tranquil. But yeah, I think you definitely need a style. Otherwise, the thing, as I say, becomes like TV.
Is it as fast-paced to film those movies as it is to watch them? Are you on a constant roll?
No. It's incredibly slow. All filming is slow, but I seem to remember this one being pretty slow as well. Yeah. But for nowadays, technology is kind of leaving me behind, because so much of films these days are made in post-production with computer effects, visual effects. A lot of this film we shot in front of green screens. We were meant to be on an aircraft carrier, and actually we're on the back lot of some studio in a damp corner of England with a huge green screen behind us. And the next thing, you see the film and we are on an aircraft carrier. It is amazing, astonishing.
So that makes it more exciting to watch your own films as an actor, I suppose. It's a discovery.
Yeah, exactly.
Your opinion on Henry Cavill and Armie Hammer?
Well, brilliant. They're brilliant in this film. Really cool and charismatic and nice guys. I liked them very much.
What would you say were the films that informed your career as an actor, the actors that have inspired you the most?
Well, I'm not sure that there are any, really. But there have been films that have, whenever I've felt particularly jaded with the profession, have attracted me back into it.
Like which ones?
Well, it's absurd to say, because they're not really the kind of films I ever make. But, Martin Scorsese's films or Krzysztof Kieslowski's films, when you really see people who are geniuses, it makes you think, oh yeah, I quite like this business.
And do you remember the first time you thought that acting was the profession for you? The turning point?
Well, I never did. I'm still experimenting 30 years after starting and thinking. I've just finished a film just a few days ago, and I think it'd be a very good film. But I did sit down afterwards and write a note to myself, as I always do, saying, never make another film.
Oh, really? Yeah, I know you always say that, but that's a negative thing for us, because we want to see you on screen more often.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's lovely things about it. There are definitely lovely things about filming, but just not so much as an actor anymore, I think.
Do you think Hollywood has changed from the times of, Notting Hill and For Weddings and the Funeral, and the cinema industry in general, with technology that you were talking about?
Well, yeah, the technology's changed. But also, at this moment, it seems that... in fact, someone told me the other day, some senior Hollywood executive told me, the studios don't make any films where it's just people to talk to each other, or a news story. It has to be what they call branded product. It has to come from a video game or from an old TV series, or be a sequel to a previous film.
Or a superhero.
Or a superhero, yeah.
These are good. Batman.
Those are very good films, yeah, I agree with you.